Hey guys, it's Casey. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing a book tag for you, and I just wanted to do a tag and I didn't have anything in mind, so I just went on YouTube, searched for book tags, and this one came up. Allie did it just a couple days ago. Well, as I'm filming it, she did it a couple days ago. This is the world's worst book tag, and it looks like Peter Likes Books was actually the creator, and I love Peter Likes Books, so I haven't watched his video or Allie's. I'm just gonna read the questions and kind of, see whatever pops to mind. So like I said, this is the world's worst book tag. So question number 1, what book or series would you force your enemy to read? This one's tricky. I feel like I have two answers for this. Like, maybe like the first one is like maybe like Twilight, or I don't even know, like, what's the worst book I've read? I feel like Twilight, the Twilight series, was the worst books I've ever read. Yeah, I think I'll go with that. Or it'd be funny if it was, like, 50 Shades of Grey or something. I like, when 50 Shades was, like, super big, I think I skimmed it. Like, I got it on Kindle and, like, I didn't finish it. And I've never read the ones after it. But I feel like that would be a funny one to force people to read. My second answer, if it was like someone like, if I consider my boss like my enemy or some of my coworkers, I think I'd make him read Quiet by Susan Cain, because I read that book earlier this year, and it's about like the power of introverts and how introverts are really undervalued and misunderstood in American society and the like workplace. And so I would make them read that to like, so that they would better be able to understand me and like how I operate. Like, especially my boss. I kind of want to give it to her for like boss day or whatever. To be like, settle down, lady. Like, this is just how I am and it's fine. Anyway, so those are my two answers. Number 2 is what book have you tried to read several times but haven't been able to finish? Oh man, I have two for this right off the bat. One is Lonesome Dove and one is Heidi. Both of those I had to read for Accelerated Reader, which if you don't know Accelerated Reader, it's like a thing that they do in school where each book has a value, like, has a point system. So say like, 1 through 10. The easiest books have 1 point and the harder books have 10, and then you have to meet a certain goal, like 30 points for the whole year or whatever. And so I always really struggled with my reading, and so both of these books, I read Heidi in the 4th grade when we did AR, and then Lonesome Dove we did Accelerated Reader again when I was a sophomore in high school. And so I picked Lonesome Dove because when I would take like the reading test to establish what your goal would be, it would be like insulting. It would be like 5 points because I'm a very slow reader, and I really have struggled with my like actual reading. So to like prove the point to myself, I guess, or my teacher, I would pick like the biggest books I could. So both Heidi and Lonesome Dove were the biggest books at the time, and both of those I did not read because they were way too freaking long. Lonesome Dove's like 850 pages. It's insane. So what did I do with both of these? I watched the movie. Like, Heidi has a movie, Lonesome Dove has a miniseries. I watched it, took the Accelerator test, and clearly failed because movies never follow the books. So anyway, I've tried to read Heidi just that one time. I never tried to pick it up again. But Lonesome Dove, I've tried to read probably 5 times. And I'm determined this year. I think it was in my like yearly goal video that I made. I am determined to read that book this year because I want it out of my life. I want to say that I've read it. I want to just accomplish that. So that is a book I've tried to read several times. Number 3, what book has a close friend recommended that you ended up loving? Oh man, a lot of my friends aren't big readers, especially where I currently live. Like, no one that I know reads. So they don't really recommend books to me. But recently, she's not my friend, but she's my mom. I mean, she's kind of my friend, but she's my mom. She recommended that I read A Man Named Uva, and I just finished that one like last weekend, and I really did like it. It was a lot more impactful than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was just going to be like an easy, lighthearted read, like everyone made it sound. But it was really deeper than I thought, and it made me feel feelings. I felt sad sometimes. It does like have a happier ending, but it's a journey to get there. But I really enjoyed it, and she recommended that. Sorry if the angle just changed. I felt like you guys were at a weird angle, so I adjusted it. Question number 4. What book in the last year took you the longest to read 'cause you're lazy? It's actually the book I'm currently reading. It's called Wild and Free. It's like a Christian self-help book. And I have been reading it for, no joke, at least a week and a half. And it's only 223 pages. It's not rocket science. It's a self-help book, you know, Christian. So, but yeah, I just have not been able to read that book. I don't know why. I think that I've been kind of in such a weird mood that I haven't wanted to come home and read a lot. So I've just been reading it in bits and pieces, like on my lunch breaks or on my like actual breaks at work. And so it's just been taking me a real long time to read, but I'm determined. It's Saturday. I'm determined to finish that book today. Not today, like this weekend. Like, let's not get crazy. I'm on page 100, so I only have like 130 pages of. I'm gonna finish it this weekend, guys. This weekend. Question number 5. What is the fastest book you've read in the last 5 years because it was so damn good? When did the last Harry Potter book come out? Because I read that book in like a day and a half. So if it was out within 5 years, that would be it. But I don't think it was. I feel like it's been out for a while. It's hard because I don't remember. 5 years is a long time for like me to try and remember books. Just recently I like zipped through All Beyond in the Dark. Yeah, I read it basically over one weekend, and it was good. I have a whole review of it. I'll link it below. It's not like the best nonfiction book I've ever read, but it's definitely a starting point, especially for that case. It's about the Golden State Killer. So yeah, I'll say that. I read it super fast. You know, it is good writing. Number 6. Clear your mind. What are the first 3 books that immediately come to mind? I immediately thought of Tomorrow When the War Began, this series. I love it. I also randomly thought of The Princess Diaries, which is super weird because I love those books when I was growing up, but I haven't like read them. Well, I read they do. Meg Cabot is the author, and she did like an adult version where Mia gets married. And so I did read that one last year. What's the 3rd book that comes to mind? To Kill a Mockingbird? I have no idea why that came to mind. But I read that. I never read it in high school. I read it maybe like 5 years ago or something. No, it had to be less than that because I lived here. So maybe like 3 years ago I read it for the first time and loved it. It's probably like, I'm not a huge fan of classics, but it's probably in my top like 2, like that one and Of Mice and Men. I freaking love those books. Like, Of Mice and Men is such a good book. If you haven't read it, it's only like 100 pages. And it has one of the most amazing endings. It's so good. Number 7, the last book you will admit to skimming. I'm not a big skimmer, to be honest. Like, I tend to read every single word. So, you know what book that I did? I don't even have it. I don't even have it up here. It's like in my like books of shame. I have like half of a little shelf with all the books that like I don't want viewed. And it would be this Little Gold Book of Yes Attitude by Jeff Gittimore. I read this during Dewey's, and it was part of my May TBR where my mom chose my whole TBR. And I did read this mostly word for word, but at the end, like, I just started, because a lot of it's very repetitive, so I did skim a little bit of this, but all in all, I'm not a big skimmer. Number 8, what author, if they secretly dropped a brand new book tomorrow, would you immediately have to buy and begin to read ASAP? Sarah Dessen is, like, probably, like, the number one. I mean, like, if Morgan Matson came out with one, like, she has one coming out in June that I've already pre-ordered. Like, Nicholas Sparks. Those are the ones that, like, I will actively seek out. Although the Nicholas Sparks, he had a book come out either maybe like 2 years ago by now, called 2x2. I still haven't read that one. I've read all of his other books except for that one. It would really be Sarah Dessen, that one. Unless it was like some celebrity that I really love that released a memoir that I would totally buy. Like, I don't know. Now I can't think of like a celebrity that I would buy the memoir of. Oh, no. I was going to say Amy Schumer, because earlier this afternoon I saw Amy Schumer's I Feel Pretty, that new movie that she has out. But Amy Schumer does have a memoir out, and I haven't read it. She might even have two. Maybe just one. I don't know. But I don't know. If it was like some celebrity that I really loved, maybe if like Kate Middleton came out with like a memoir, I would definitely go and get it or something. Or if like another Harry Potter book came out, but like an actual Harry Potter book, not one of these like plays, like not like the crappy like little dinky books that come out, like Fantastic Beasts, and there's like Quidditch Through the Ages, and there's another one, like not like that. If it was a genuine like Harry Potter #8, I would definitely go out and get it. Number 9, favorite book / type of book to read in bed and by the pool. Those are two very different things. To read by the pool, I definitely want either like a YA contemporary that takes place in the summer, like a Sarah Dessen or a Morgan Matson type of book. Or I would want just like a trashy romance, like one with like a cowboy on the cover, like complete, garbage. And a book to read in bed, I don't know, like I'll read anything in bed. I'll read nonfiction. It's just whatever book I happen to be reading at the time. And the last question is, what book would you give to your best friend and force him to read because it's so good? I don't know. This is a hard one because I've read definitely a lot of good books, but I don't really like to force people. I mean, I know I've talked about Harry Potter a lot, but I guess that's because I feel like a lot of people in my life haven't, like my friend-wise, haven't read Harry Potter, which I think is an atrocity. I maybe have them read the Tomorrow When the War Began series because I really like that and it's really underrated. Yeah, I think I would do that. I'm not really one to recommend books, because I think it's so personal, kind of like what your favorite books are and stuff. But anyway, that was what was this called? That was the world's worst book tag. I feel like that it probably was the world's worst book tag, but I'm gonna post it anyways. YOLO. I'm not gonna tag anyone, but if you do this, let me know down below and I'll definitely go check it out because I like watching tag videos. They're super fun. So have a great week and I will check you guys out later. Bye.